What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another live post-game show on my channel. My name is Josh Finn of ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. And tonight I'm here to quickly break down the Kansas City Chiefs 27-20 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders on the road and to move to 7-0 on the season, still the only remaining undefeated team in the NFL. Last week, they became the last remaining undefeated team in the NFL after the Vikings went down to the Lions. And then the Vikings quietly went down to the Los Angeles Rams on Thursday Night Football. That was a weird loss, but nonetheless, the Kansas City Chiefs are far and away the best team in the NFL this year, just in case anyone else was out there wondering who was the best team in football. Certainly not the Baltimore Ravens, as they lost to the Cleveland Browns today after everyone in the media was hyping them up. But Patrick Mahomes is 27 of 38 for 262 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Kareem Hunt, 21 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce with 10 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown. And I have it on the ticker down below. But Travis Kelce had his first receiving touchdown of the season today, his first one. And we are 7 games in, 8 weeks into the NFL season. Can you believe that it took this long for Kelce to get his first touchdown? Finally, it came. But I want to start with the offense in this game because I thought we saw some good things out of them. They were 12 of 16 on third down today, guys. That is fantastic. You will take that 100% of the time. 12 of 16 on third down. They had 23 first downs. They averaged 5 yards per play, 334 total yards of offense, 252 passing, 82 on the ground. And I thought we saw some good things. They didn't put their pedal to the metal in this game, but this is the first game with DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, part of the plan was to get him integrated just a little bit. And he had 2 catches for 29 yards today, and he had a big first down on the Chiefs' opening drive of the game on offense. I believe it was 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 8. Something like that. And then they went to D-Hop on that 3rd down. He made a great play. And so it was nice to see him. Now, we didn't really see any contested catches or contested catch opportunities in the red zone for him today or anything like that. But I will say, I kind of talked about this whenever the Chiefs acquired D-Hop earlier this week, but he's not really the type of guy that the Chiefs typically have used. They really don't throw contested catch passes in their offense. So I'm not sure if you can really expect to see that. I am a little surprised he didn't get a red zone target. That just seems like an Andy Reid thing to do, to get the new guy a touchdown or at least an opportunity. But, you know, we saw Travis Kelce get one, and that's a good thing. And if you guys go back and watch that play in which Kelce scored a touchdown, D-Hop was actually wide open. So they could have very well gone to him anyway. On the ground, though, Kareem Hunt had 21 carries for 59 yards. That's below 3 yards per carry. But I'll say it again, guys. No matter what the numbers say, if you are watching the games, Kareem Hunt is making an impact. And I will say, too, like, the run blocking wasn't even that good today for him. And I don't think it's totally his fault for having below 3 yards per carry. Lego Maego, good to see you. Yep, 7-0. Let's effing go, Chiefs Kingdom. Nice to see you, man. Been a while. But yeah, Kareem Hunt, he's getting it done. Like, anytime it's 3rd down, 3rd and short, and the Chiefs need a couple yards, Kareem Hunt is there to get it for you. And whenever they're on the goal line, he's there to punch it in the end zone. So I continue to pound the table for Kareem Hunt. I think he's been doing a great job. But if there's one thing I will say, I think the Kansas City Chiefs need to split up the carries just a little bit. I mean, I love Kareem Hunt. I love to see him come back. He's doing really good things for this team this year. He's contributing. But, you know, maybe relegate some carries to Samaje Perine, or maybe give Carson Steele 5 carries instead of 2, just so we're not beating Kareem Hunt in every single week. I mean, because he's been popping up on the injury report in practice. I mean, this week he was on there with a hip, I think it was. He had a collarbone a couple weeks ago. Like, he's getting dinged up. He's older. He's not exactly a spring chicken. Again, love what he's done so far. but I'd like to see them incorporate some P. Ryan just a little bit, or get Carson Steele just a few more carries. I can't wait for Pacheco to come back, because then you'll see a much more evenly split between the two when it comes to carries. And I think that's when Kareem Hunt will be most effective. And you're going to see his yards per carry go up, because you're going to be able to catch defenses off guard, having multiple options like that. Travis Kelce, it was really good to see him have a big game. I mean, he's been quiet this year. Xavier Worthy was the second leading receiver behind Kelce with 4 catches for 37 yards. And he also had a touchdown. I was really happy to see him get that touchdown at the end there after what was a little bit of a tough game for him. He had some trouble with the hands, but I really think that he will get acclimated. I've seen a lot of uproar about Xavier Worthy. Some people are beginning to be worried about him. And I'm certainly not worried about Xavier Worthy whatsoever. I don't think that is anything to be worried about. Oh, I should also mention, because I forgot to mention at the beginning, people are probably wondering why there's a clown behind me. Don't mind the clown, guys. We get in the Halloween spirit here on Show Me Football. So just in case anybody was wondering why there was a clown behind me, that's why, because it's one of my Halloween decorations that I'm waiting to put out until Halloween night. Also, happy early Halloween to everyone who celebrates, as I won't see you again on the live stream until after the holiday is over. But I digress. Xavier Worthy, it was a tough day for him. I'm not worried about him whatsoever, though. I mean, really, when you look at his numbers and you look at what he's done so far, he's perfectly on track, guys. He's on track. He was never expected to come in here and light it up immediately, because the Chiefs had Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice before that. And I still think there was a strong possibility that they would have traded for a receiver even before Rashee Rice went down. So all of that being said, Xavier Worthy is being played along a little bit faster by the Kansas City Chiefs than they were ever originally planning to do. And there's going to be some lumps with that. But I think Xavier Worthy is perfectly on track. There's no reason to worry. He's on pace for 12 touchdowns this year. You don't just get double-digit touchdowns by accident, okay? In Xavier Worthy, I would bet money that he ends up with double-digit touchdowns this year. He's got 235 yards on the year. He's added a little bit more and a couple touchdowns on the ground as well. He's doing just fine. No reason to worry whatsoever. Lego Maego says he's a rookie at the end of the day, so no huge expectations for him. Exactly. And I mean, really, all you can ask of Xavier Worthy, and what my expectations were for him coming into this year, is maybe get 600 or 700 yards, sprinkle in a few deep shots here and there. That's exactly what he's done so far, and he's on pace for that. So, yeah, I'm perfectly happy with what Xavier Worthy has done so far. And here's the thing, too. People will complain when he doesn't make contested catches. Well, he was never a contested catch guy. You can't draft a guy that has never been about contested catches and get upset when he doesn't make contested catches. And also, again, I will mention the Chiefs offense doesn't really throw a bunch of contested catches. So zero worries. Justin Watson had another 3 catches for 33 yards. Samaje Perine added a little bit in the receiving game too. Noah Gray also continues to be a safety valve for Patrick Mahomes in the offense. Anytime they need something, he just kind of seems to be there. He was there behind Xavier Worthy on the one play to pick up a first down after Xavier Worthy bobbled the pass. You were never going to see so like my guys at Arrowhead Addict, Sterling and Adam and the crew who do the Arrowhead Addict podcast over there, they were predicting like a big Chiefs blowout win in this game, especially after the whole puppet thing from over the offseason that the Raiders did. And Patrick Mahomes had that press conference saying it'll get handled when it gets handled. And my guys over there, they were predicting a big Chiefs win. And the thing is, if you've watched the Chiefs, they really don't do that. They don't blow teams out. And even in divisional games, they don't blow teams out. Yeah, I know people want to see petty Mahomes and the petty Chiefs come out today and just hand it to the Raiders, but they're really not built to do that. The Chiefs offense hasn't been built to do that. And even if they were, I don't think they were going to do it in this game. I just don't think they care. I just think they want to win and get out. And that's what they did. You're 7-0, and you have yet another win within the division. And that's all the Chiefs care about. So they were predicting something big. This is about what I expected. I expected a game like this where the Chiefs are up by double digits in the fourth quarter. Maybe the Raiders make or score a touchdown or a field goal to make it interesting or slightly interesting, which is kind of what happened there at the end. And then they attempted an onside kick. And after that, the Chiefs were able to knee it out after they recovered the onside kick. So it was really a comfortable win, and this game wasn't nearly as close as the scoreboard would tell you. I mean, the Chiefs dominated, honestly. I mean, you look at their offensive stats, their third down efficiency, and then what the Chiefs were able to do on defense, which we'll get to here in a minute. They really dominated this game, and they won the time of possession battle. They controlled this game really from beginning to end. There was one point in time where the Raiders were up by 3 or 7 or 3. I can't remember. They had like a slight lead in the second quarter, but I mean, after the Chiefs took the lead, they never really looked back. And then Patrick Mahomes did have a tipped pass, and it got intercepted. Raiders had it in the red zone. And then the defense had the awesome goal line stand, which again, we'll get to the defense in a minute, but defense definitely bailed the offense out there. But that was really the only true blemish of the day. Patrick Mahomes finally had another passing touchdown. I was beginning to worry that we would never see Patrick Mahomes have another passing touchdown this year. He has 2 of them today. They kind of got that rhythm going just a little bit. If I did have a negative on the offense today, though, it's got to be the left tackle play. Wanya Morris got abused. He got whipped up on. And this seems to be a matchup that he struggles with against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders kind of seemed to have figured Wanya Morris out a little bit, because last year against the Raiders, Wanya Morris also really struggled in that Christmas Day game when the Raiders whooped the Chiefs at their house. So and a lot of people are saying, let's see Kingsley Suamataia again, or let's see Kingsley Suamataia again. Sorry, his last name is a mouthful. But I just don't think he's ready either. And I just think this is a rough matchup for Wanya Morris, but I'm not necessarily worried because Wanya Morris was pretty good the last couple of games. Yeah, today was rough, but I'm not mailing it in on Wanya Morris altogether. I mean, it was rough today, no doubt. But he's still really young, Wanya Morris. I think he's still the best option at left tackle right now. Now, if you want to suggest that the Chiefs bring in a veteran left tackle like Donovan Smith, who was the starter last year, I certainly wouldn't push back on that idea. But I still think Wanya Morris right now is the guy at left tackle, and they're going to continue to take the lumps with him. Maybe Kingsley Suamataia will get a shot later on, and they'll try to work him in. But for now, I just think you have to stick with what has worked the most, and that's still Wanya Morris. So that's my only true negative on the offense. Let's talk about the defense, though, because they were fun to watch today, besides a couple of things. Drew Tranquill and Lego Maego, he mentioned it earlier. Tranquill is looking elite out there with CJ. Yeah, I think this was Tranquill's best game of the season. He was all over the field. He recovered that fumble in which the Chiefs were able to ice the game on the next possession on offense. They recovered that fumble from the Raiders. Chris Jones, I thought, was getting a bunch of pressure. George Karlaftis is really starting to turn up as far as the last couple of weeks. He had, if I go down and look, I know he had 1 sack. Did he have multiple? George Karlaftis, where is he at on the stat sheet? He had 1 sack. He was credited with 1 sack, but I remember seeing him in the backfield a couple of times, and I've been critical of our edges this year. Felix is another one, and Felix has really turned it up the last few weeks. Like, I've given him his flowers. He's starting to look like a productive player. He had 4 total tackles today, and I think he's holding his own in the run game. And you want to talk about the run game, you look at the stats, Raiders were held to 33 yards rushing. And I laugh because it's just incredible how good the Chiefs running defense has been this year. They held Alexander Mattison to 14 carries for 15 yards. 1.1 yards per carry, guys. That is awesome. This Chiefs run defense is a thing of beauty. I mean, they have been awesome this year. Even last year when the defense was awesome, the run defense was still a little bit of a weakness. Like, that was their Achilles heel. This year, there isn't really an Achilles heel. Well, maybe there's one that we're seeing unfold, and I'll talk about that in a minute when I get to my negatives for the defense. But besides that, man, run defense, awesome for the Kansas City Chiefs. And a big part of that has been Drew Tranquill, as Lego Maego said. Another big part of it has been Nick Bolton, who has been awesome this year. Now, the Raiders' passing attack picked on Nick Bolton a little bit early, but I thought Bolton settled in just fine. And when you consider what he brings in run support, I thought he was a positive player on the day for Kansas City, Nick Bolton. Leo Chanel continues to impress. He also lined up at defensive end quite a bit in this game, even to start out. He lined up at defensive end. He had a sack in this one. And, man, that goal line stand, I mean, everyone contributed to that, but that goal line stand, the linebackers and defensive line, they were awesome. That was so fun to watch when the Raiders, you thought were going to get a walk-in touchdown, and the Chiefs say, nope, you're not getting it that easy, and they shut them down. I mean, they tried running it several times. Alexander Mattison had nowhere to go all day, and I just don't know what else there is to say about this Chiefs defense. I mean, they're awesome. They're fun to watch. But there is one negative, and it's the cornerbacks, because even Gardner Minshew, who has not been very good this year and is easily a bottom 5 starting quarterback in the NFL, seemed to have his way with our cornerbacks a little bit. He had 24 attempts for 30 completions, 30 attempts for 24 completions, 209 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And there were a few times where the Raiders were able to drive down the field because they were able to pick on our corners. And I think that Jalen Watson injury from last week is a lot bigger of a deal, much bigger deal than a lot of people initially anticipated or expected, because I saw Najee Johnson and Joshua Williams play today, guys. Not good. Not very good. Najee Johnson got flattened early in both or against both the run and pass. I'm pretty sure I saw Gardner Minshew downfield blocking and nearly put Najee Johnson on his ass in this one. And then he ended up going out with a concussion, so the Chiefs had to look to UDFA Christian Roland Wallace. And Christian Roland Wallace was in the right place a lot of the time, but he was still getting beat. He was still allowing the catch. And this is going to be an issue going forward when you face teams with better quarterback wide receiver combos. They're going to pick on the Chiefs corners. And that concerns me. Joshua Williams looks lost out there. There was a reason why he was played out of the rotation before Jalen Watson went down. Now, part of this, too, I should say, though, Brock Bowers has just been really good this year. He's been one of the best tight ends in the league this year as a rookie. He had 5 catches for 58 yards. He looks like he's going to be a thorn in our side for a long time. But Jacoby Myers had 6 catches for 52 yards. Alexander Mattison, despite being pretty poor running the football, added 5 catches for 29 yards. The Raiders got a lot of contributions in the passing game. And, yeah, they were able to take advantage of our corners a little bit. So it's something that you're going to have to address. And I don't think this is a situation where the Chiefs can just play it out and see what happens. I think you have to actually acquire a cornerback. And a guy that comes to mind immediately for me is Marshawn Lattimore, the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints aren't going anywhere this year. Marshawn Lattimore is making almost nothing, like $600,000 is all it would cost to acquire him from New Orleans. I'd definitely be calling them about Marshawn Lattimore and adding him to this defense, because that's a move that could put you over the top. Now, a lot of people consider the Chiefs to already be over the top. I mean, they're the back-to-back Super Bowl champions looking to three-peat, but when you lose a player like Jalen Watson, sometimes you have to go outside the organization to address that loss, and Marshawn Lattimore is definitely a guy that I'd be interested in. Another name that I think if you want to go the cheap route, Tre'Davious White, who's currently on the Los Angeles Rams. I think Adam Schefter put out the other day that the Rams may look to trade him or find him a new home. Now, he struggled a little bit this year, and he's coming off multiple major injuries. But if you want to go to the cheap route and want to add someone that has played in an elite level in the last couple of years, Tre'Davious White is a player that maybe I would look at to try and get in Spag's system, playing under cornerbacks coach Dave Merritt, because we know the kind of magic that he can work if you just give him a little bit of talent. And Tre'Davious White has plenty of talent. If you want to go the cheap route, I'd be looking at him. But number one target would be Marshawn Lattimore, because I don't think you can keep rolling out there with Najee Johnson, Joshua Williams, and Christian Roland Wallace. And also, this is also becoming a numbers issue too, because if Najee Johnson is out multiple weeks with a concussion, let's just say, I mean, your cornerback room is just really thin. It would be in a similar spot to the wide receivers where, we're asking for the Chiefs to trade for a receiver because they need one because they lost all their talented guys and all their top options, but it was also a numbers thing. Like they only had 4 healthy wide receivers if you count Sky Moore being put on IR this week. So they had to be looking for someone else, probably outside of the organization. And clearly they don't trust any of the guys that they have on the practice squad because they just refuse to elevate any of them. At least the popular names, Justin Ross, Niga Remigio, both of them got passed up over for Montreal Washington this week. But it's not like Montreal Washington really got any targets. So you needed someone that could actually play. And that's why they went out and got D-Hop. So might be a similar situation at cornerback. But yeah, guys, defense, I mean, outside of letting Minshew abuse the cornerbacks just a little bit, which should not really happen, I thought they did pretty good. And the goal line stand was awesome to watch. The Chiefs defense got several clutch sacks in this one that forced the Raiders to kick a field goal. And there's one point where the Raiders went for it on 4th down and they got sacked. That was cool. So not too many complaints. I mean, you're 7-0. Until the Chiefs lose, I'm not really going to have many complaints because they just keep winning. Like, winning is hard in the NFL, and the Chiefs just keep doing it, and they're the only remaining undefeated team left. There is one injury that we have to talk about, though. Every week it seems like the Chiefs lose a guy for the year. Jody Fortson was injured on the onside kick. Did not look good. Nate Taylor of The Athletic is reporting that he was leaving the stadium on crutches. He was not able to put any weight on his injured leg. Could be an Achilles, could be an ankle. Either way, it did not look good. You're down another guy. And Jody Fortson, I really didn't understand the Chiefs bringing him back to begin with, but they seemed to trust him for whatever reason, and he was getting a significant portion of the snaps. So if that's a guy that you depend on, that you like, and now he just went down, once again, you're going to have to find a replacement. Maybe Jared Wiley takes a bigger role, or you look back to Peyton Hendershot, who I think is still a free agent, and the Chiefs gave up a draft pick for earlier in the offseason. Or maybe you look to bring Irv Smith back, who at least was with you through training camp as a 4th tight end, because clearly the Chiefs, especially with the injuries at wide receiver, they like to line up with multiple tight ends out there, and you have one less tight end. So it also sucks for Jody Fortson, who just cannot seem to stay on the field. The NFL is a brutal game. It's a physical game, and injuries just do not seem to be something that Jody Fortson can avoid, which sucks. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs 27-20 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders to move to 7-0 and remain undefeated. Taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week, who are pretty decimated. The Chiefs are opening up as a 9-point favorite. Would love to hear from you guys down below what your early thoughts are on that game. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Also, want to mention that Michael Darcy and I should be getting back together this week. I wanted to do it last week, but we just couldn't find time. But we're going to try to come out with the Kingdom Crew podcast episode later this week, along with a couple other videos. I'm going to pump out some content this week prior to the holiday later this week. So, yeah. Be on the lookout for that. Turn on that notification bell. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can see this. And make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com for more. And I'll see you all in the next one. Go Chiefs!
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.